Imagine a world in its golden age, the Bronze Age, a time of thriving empires and flourishing civilizations. Then, without warning, the horizon darkened. From the vast, unpredictable sea, a new threat emerged. The Sea Peoples. Their ships, like shadows on the water, brought destruction across the Mediterranean. Great powers crumbled. The mighty Hittites, their empire reduced to dust. The sophisticated Mycenaeans, their palaces left in ruins. Even the formidable Egyptian pharaohs fought desperately for survival, barely repelling the onslaught. These enigmatic raiders pillaged, they burned, and then, as mysteriously as they arrived, they vanished. Their arrival marked not just the end of an era, but the dawn of a dark age, a period of decline and uncertainty, leaving behind a lingering question: who were these phantom invaders, and where did they come from? Summer 1764. The French countryside, a tapestry of rolling hills and quiet villages, was suddenly ripped asunder by a terror unlike any they had ever known. It began with a shepherdess, savaged by a creature of unimaginable ferocity, yet miraculously unharmed. But the attacks soon escalated. A young girl, then another, fell prey to this savage beast. Panic swept through the region as the brutal, unexplained killings mounted, leaving over 100 victims mutilated. Was it one monster or many? Whispers of conspiracy filled the air. The king himself issued a royal decree, dispatching soldiers, traps, and even silver bullets, in a desperate, ultimately futile, attempt to stop the carnage. The beast of Gévaudan, a chilling enigma, stalked the land for years, its true nature and origins forever lost to the mists of history, a haunting testament to the primal fear of the unknown. In the vast, sun-baked plains of Western Australia, a peculiar conflict unfolded, one that pitted man against nature in a battle for survival. It was 1932, and a formidable army, numbering in the tens of thousands, descended upon the farmlands. These weren't soldiers with bayonets, but emus, the world's second-largest birds, their numbers exploding and their appetites devouring precious crops. The farmers, desperate, called in the military. Machine guns were deployed, ready to confront the feathered menace. But these birds were surprisingly resilient, scattering with uncanny speed and proving remarkably difficult targets. The machine guns, designed for human adversaries, proved woefully inadequate against the agile emus. The operation, intended to be a swift victory, devolved into a frustrating, almost comical campaign. Ultimately deemed a humiliating defeat for the Australian Army, a stark reminder that even the most advanced weaponry can be humbled by the wild. The year is 1854. Beneath the dusty skies of the Ballarat goldfields, a storm was brewing, not of weather, but of rebellion. Thousands of hopeful prospectors, their dreams of riches tarnished by the crushing weight of unjust miners, licenses, and exorbitant taxes, were reaching their breaking point. This wasn't just about gold. It was about dignity, about fairness. Fueled by growing unrest, a desperate cry for freedom erupted. Underneath a newly unfurled banner, the iconic Eureka flag, these men fortified themselves in a hastily built stockade. Then, in the brutal darkness of dawn, government troops descended. It was a swift, violent confrontation, a clash that would see dozens fall, their lives sacrificed in the fight for liberty. Though the rebellion was crushed, its echoes resonated, igniting the very foundations of Australian democracy. Imagine a world struggling to build, where iron, though strong, was brittle and expensive. The Industrial Revolution, already transforming cities and factories, was hitting a wall. Then, in 1856, a visionary named Henry Bessemer conceived a daring idea. He proposed blasting air through molten pig iron. This wasn't just a curiosity. It was a revolution in metallurgy. The oxygen in the air acted like a furious furnace, burning away impurities, leaving behind something truly remarkable: steel. Suddenly, this once costly material was affordable, strong, and abundant. The impact was seismic. Skyscrapers began to pierce the heavens, railways crisscrossed continents, and the very sinews of empires were forged anew. The modern world, in so many ways, was born from that fiery breath of air. For millennia, humanity gazed at the heavens, convinced of a grand, geocentric design. The earth, our solid ground, was undeniably the motionless center of all things, a truth woven into the very fabric of faith and philosophy. But in the quiet study of a Polish scholar in 1543, a revolutionary whisper began to stir. Nicholas Copernicus, armed not with grand pronouncements but with meticulous observation, found his data increasingly at odds with this ancient dogma. What if, he dared to suggest, the sun, not the earth, held pride of place? What if our planet was merely one celestial body amongst many, a spinning sphere in a cosmic dance around a blazing solar hearth? This radical notion, published just as Copernicus breathed his last, would shatter the foundations of human understanding, igniting a revolution that forever changed how we perceive our place in the universe. Stockholm Harbor, August 10th, 1628. A day of triumph, or so it seemed, for Sweden. Their magnificent new warship, the Vasa, a floating fortress bristling with cannons, was about to embark on its maiden voyage. A royal audience gathered, eager to witness the spectacle. But disaster struck with a terrifying swiftness. A subtle shift of cannons, a slight imbalance, and the unthinkable happened. A sudden gust of wind, and the proud vessel heeled over. Water surged through the open gun ports, and in mere minutes the Vasa, moments from glory, sank ignominiously in full view of the cheering crowds. It would be 333 years before this tragic monument to hubris would rise again from the depths, a silent testament to ambition and its terrible cost.